have worked for. This is some money that you have given your life for. This is some money that you have, done a lot of things for. So this is not something that should just go like that. Okay, it shouldn't be something that should just go like that. It should be something that once you have given it up, you have saved, you have worked, that money, that percentage that is supposed to come to you on a monthly basis, that money should be given to you. That money should not be for whatever reason, take aside from you. It should be given to you. Okay. So that's what we're talking about today. So I would like for us to go
That's
into
what
today. So I would like for us to go
that's
into
what
today. So I would like for us hello,
to
I receiving your
go
feedback.
into
Today. So I would like so we will go into the Decent Work Act. The Decent Work Act is the law that governs the private sector. Okay. So those in the private sector, when you have grievance, I have my Decent Work Act here. If you have grievance with your employer, it is the Decent Work Act that you go for. Not just in the private sector, but when you are in the government sector, but you are with autonomous agencies. Okay, autonomous agencies, they are under the Ministry of Labor, and therefore the applicable law to them is the Decent Work Act. So in the Decent Work Act, you have what they call child labor. They talk about child labor in the Decent Work Act. There are a lot of different topics. They talk about topic on prohibition as well. They would, talk about definition of employment, where you can be employed as a contractor or as an employee, as a full-time employee. It also talks about how many years you can be a contractor. And if you are a contractor, what are those what are those things that are supposed to take you from the status of a contractor to that of an employee? So the same thing, how can you obtain your benefits from Social Security? So if you have issues with Social Security, and how can you obtain benefit? The Decent Work I also talk about constructive termination of employment. Okay, there are sometimes employees will do some things, they are not going to terminate your employment right away, but they will do some things so that you can get angry and walk away from the job. So they call that constructive termination. So the Decent Work I talk about all of those things, as well as our topic for today, the pension. So the Decent Work I talk about that. So my first thing is go to the Decent Work Act. Go into the Decent Work Act. It's a law that is very, very simple to understand. You will go into it and read it for yourself. So when you are in the private sector, take for instance, you are working with a company, and this company is deducting money from your pay. Every month, the company deducts money from your pay, and they say it goes to Social Security. Every month, they deduct money and say it goes to Social Security. Tomorrow, when you shall have reached retirement age, you are entitled to that money. And your money in Social Security over the years, it hasn't just been sitting there in the bank. So even if they take you $25, $30, $20, or whatever it is, it's not sitting there like a bank. What happens? Social Security is using that money to accumulate more money. So they will get involved into investment with that money. You see, sometimes they build structures, and those structures are given out for various reasons, to other entities to rent. These are your same Social Security funds that you are depositing with Social Security. So you have the job sign you up for Social Security gave you an ID card. Let me tell you what happened to me as a person. So during the time I was very young, at the age of 19 when I got my first job. And at that time, a pretty young, individual, I'm not exposed to Social Security or whatever it is. So I was given my first Social Security card. I worked for the company for more than 3 years, 3+ years. Then one day we were asked again to go and take different social security ID card. So the first ID card that demanded that I wear the company's uniform, even though I was in the corporate area. Then the second ID card, they said no. It doesn't, you don't have to, wear the uniform, but the first ID card, they were going to discard it. Mind you now, I didn't ask question, nothing as far as the concern. I was concerned. They told me to go and do social security again. I went, I did my social security ID card. This second ID card, I still have it. The first ID card, I don't, because as far as I'm concerned, they told me it was no longer valid. They were not going to use it again. And therefore, I discarded that first ID card. So now I cannot even prove that for that 3+ years that I worked, the company took money from me and contributed the money for social security. I can't prove it because I know that the two cards had two different ID numbers. So you see, so now it means that all of my contributions that was deducted from my social security, it went out in the breeze. It went out in the breeze. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this to say that we have to be very cautious out there. What you work for, what you have labored for over the years should not be taken advantage of. People take advantage of people, especially in our society and everywhere. People take advantage of people because they know that we are not aware of certain things that can be happening. We are not aware, we don't know. So, because you don't know, they use your innocence and take advantage of you. So it's better for us to get to know where the things that are going to affect us, the status of it, and everything. So by next week, we will dive way in depth into the issue of social security, into the issue of the decent work act, and civil okay? The civil service standing order is the law that guards the public sector. All those that work with government ministries from the beginning, from all the way down up until up, except you are appointed as a public servant. So, but once you are a civil servant, you are enrolled on that civil servant status, you have that law that should be governing you. And every month, government will deduct that money. Government institution deducts that money, supposed to remit that money to Social Security. And when they remit that money to Social Security is using that funds to generate more funds. At the end of the day, when you have retired or when they retire you from your job, maybe because of age or because of you have reached the accumulated years that you should be working in government, the 25 years, and they retire you, you should be able to get that money. You should be able to this because across many individuals I have come across, some have confided in me, some asking for legal representation, some have literally got so frustrated with the process and they just walked away from the process because some go to Social Security said, people money for you, some of those entities are no longer in existence. Some of those entities assistance. So where do you take your problem? When you go to a Ministry of Labor, maybe the entity been out of that law for more than 10 years. Now you have reached, now you go to Ministry of Labor will tell you, say, oh, but you have statute of limitation. There are certain amount of years for you to bring your case here. So since you didn't bring the case at a particular time, maybe we don't have jurisdiction over it. You go to the court says, oh, you should have done this. But this is something that we are not getting a light on from to say, oh, did not pay for you. So should they require me also every month give me my entity does not pay for me? So the letter on my phone, I will know that my entity didn't pay social security for me. If my entity is not, I will know. There is no law that requires that. So those are things that I want our rights, our it is right? Is to know. So when these entities are around, you know that they're paying for you. When they not around, and what this is, you may have this. So right now, let's talk about this. We think we can give let's issues people outside their list.
It's about musical. There are crowds in many places. In every community, you know, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't tell her in your hands for the right authority. Tell it can't take your love. I'm stopping here for us. Bring your scepter to your door. Whether you reach or you fall.
We are going to have this talk. We will continue this.
If you see a donkey, my parts are reported. Stop, the people bringing scepter to your door. Stop it, cry and make it peace for them before.
Hello.
On the sector to interior, keep it hustle, let's stop it, ground for all of us. The people bringing scepter to your door. Stop it, cry and make it peace for them before. Stop on Liberia. On the sector to interior, keep it hustle, let's stop it, ground for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing scepter to your door. Crime stop it, cry and make it peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia. On the sector to interior, keep it hustle, let's stop it, ground for all of us. The people bringing scepter to your door. Stop it, cry and make it peace for them before. Stopper Liberia. On the sector to interior, keep it hustle, let's stop it, ground for all of us. It's about musical. There are crowds in many places. In every community, you know, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't tell her in your hands for the right authority. Tell it can't take your love. Crime Stopper here for us. Bring your scepter to your door. Whether you reach or you fall. If you see a you must talk it. I mean you check. Do it for your safety. If you see a donkey pay. Keep a part of report it. Crime Stopper. The people bringing scepter to your door. Stop it, cry and make it peace for them before. Stop on Liberia. On the sector to interior, keep it hustle, let's stop it, ground for all of us. The people bringing scepter to your door. Stop it, cry and make it peace for them before. Stop on Liberia. On the sector to interior, keep it hustle, let's stop it, ground for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime,